PlayStation Studios dates back 25 years, and the PS4 generation is when all their previous investments and experiments came to fruition. A perfect example of these 2 decades of growth can be seen in Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon is a post-apocalyptic open-world action-adventure game where you fight robot dinosaurs. A wild premise for sure, but one that was executed to perfection. So, with the sequel Forbidden West releasing soon, why don't we have a look back at one of the best Sony exclusives available on the PlayStation 4? The people we have to thank for this game are Guerrilla Studios, one of the top development teams available in Sony's stable. Like most companies, they come from humble beginnings and used to be known as Lost Boy Games. They made a few small Game Boy games between the years of 2001 and 2003, but all that changed in 2004 when they rebranded as Guerrilla Studios and shifted their focus into making shooters. This caught the attention of Sony, and they proceeded to contract Guerrilla to make them their Halo killer that we all know as Killzone. Despite their first big game having mixed reviews, Sony bought the budding studio outright and tasked them with continuing their Halo killing franchise. Now, while Halo hasn't been the same since 2007, Killzone hasn't really fared much better, with games like Call of Duty and Battlefield dominating the genre of first-person shooters. Due to this, Guerrilla made a very bold choice. During the development of the final Killzone game, Killzone Shadowfall, they started planning to take their company in a new creative direction. Fortunately for all parties involved, they delivered a smash hit franchise. When this happened, we were all very impressed because a genre pivot like this rarely occurs. Creating games is very difficult and very time consuming, so companies with good reason tend to stay in their comfort zones. But the fact that Guerrilla not only experimented with a new genre, but succeeded in creating a new genre for themselves is worthy of praise. So with the backstory done, let's delve a bit deeper into what the game is about and why it's so beloved, starting with the story. In Horizon Zero Dawn, you play as Aloy, a girl who from a young age was ostracized from her tribe. This caused her to grow up with very little social interaction, which would normally be very traumatic for somebody today, but it's doubly so in a society that has regressed to becoming hunters and gatherers. Thankfully, Aloy is able to overcome this hurdle as she is able to prove herself as not just an asset to the tribe, but maybe the best warrior they currently have available. This now allows Aloy to be given some important new missions. Firstly, the machines that roam the world of Horizon are getting corrupt, so she must find out what is causing this and how to stop it if possible. Secondly, she has to track down people that attacked her tribe, and she wants to also find out why the world is currently in the state it is in. Every main mission you get from the start of the game to the end of the game falls into one of the 3 sections I just mentioned. On the way, you will meet different people and they may need your help. So it's up to you on whether or not Aloy will assist them on their own personal missions. And that's it. Horizon has a very simple story on paper, but it makes up for this simplicity with its extremely engaging lore, aka the backstory of this crazy machine world. Guerrilla truly crafted something masterful in this regard, and they used this to find several ways to keep players engaged with new discoveries, like how the machines were made, why were they made, why human society has regressed, locating data logs that provide a glimpse of how the world used to be, finding all the different types of machines, discovering all the different tribes that can be found in the game, what makes them unique and how they interact with one another, and much more. Despite having a simple story, Horizon has many books worth of interesting information hidden just beneath the surface, just waiting to be discovered, that will most certainly keep you very engaged. When you talk about Horizon's graphics, it needs to be split into 2 sections. Firstly, the environments, from beautiful vistas to tight machine cauldrons to how detailed the machines look and how real their animations feel. The people in charge of these features deserve to take a bow. Also, I feel Horizon was the beginning of the photo mode craze that started in the late PS4 Xbox generation and continues till date. This is one of those games where while I'm playing, I can just stop in my tracks and admire the beauty that has been crafted into this world. It is definitely a sight to behold. On the other hand, we have the character models, and let's just say they are not the best. Now, to be fair, creating realistic models is extremely hard to do. In fact, I only know about 10 games that have mastered it so far. But Horizon models can be very distracting, especially when the game focuses on their faces during conversations, but it definitely does not ruin the experience. And when the actual cutscenes come in, the models get a massive boost in quality, so big moments are never truly ruined. Plus, there is some good news. The models have been given a massive boost for the upcoming sequel. So let me take you all back to 2007. Ubisoft just launched a new IP that began a revolution in the open world gaming genre. It had a very simple formula: go to a new area, climb the highest point, look around, unlock new missions and collectibles, fight enemies, new mission. This game was called Assassin's Creed, and for the next 15 years, this formula was a bankable success, used by many games the industry over. It can be seen in games like Far Cry, Zelda, and Spider-Man. And this led to a teeny tiny issue that we all love called saturation. A lot of gamers got bored of this, and this type of gameplay started to feel like busy work. Go here, get this, fight them, come back, rinse and repeat. Horizon is one of the few that changed this formula quite a bit. For starters, all the collectibles that can be found are very engaging due to the exceptional lore that can be found in this game, as I said before. For example, finding a vantage point gives a glimpse of the old world. Ancient vessels show how the inhabitants view simple relics from the previous generations, and data points are basically recorded documents and information that only a few can view due to their acceptance and knowledge of previous technology. Another way Horizon changed the formula is in the combat system. There are two types of enemies that Aloy will focus on in this game. Firstly are the humans. Alright, let's be honest. In most games, and even in this game, human enemies are not a challenge. It's not bad, but it tends to get repetitive after a while. Thankfully, humans are not the focus of Horizon. That honor goes to the main attraction, the machines. In the first hour of the game, you fight one of the more common enemies, the Sawtooth, and it feels like you are the hunted. Even when you are fairly powerful, there is still this sense of danger at all times. Machines can be tough, relentless, and are always a great experience when you beat them. There are 23 different machines that can be found in this game. Some are peaceful, some are pushovers, and some are outright terrifying. The best part about this is that it feels like a genuine ecosystem with real animals. And in my opinion, despite the lore, the beautiful graphics, these machines are Guerrilla's crowning achievement. Each machine was cleverly thought out. They have their own strengths and weaknesses, and each of them have some backstory about their initial creation that is revealed to the player throughout the course of the game. When the time comes to defend herself, Aloy has a bevy of weapons to choose from, such as her trusted bow and arrow with many trick arrows like Hawkeye, a sling that can shoot explosives, many different traps, a rope caster that can pin down enemies, and of course her trusty spear for when you feel like getting up close and personal. The spear also allows Aloy to hack machines and cause them to fight on her behalf. Plus, she can also ride certain hack machines like the Broadhead or the Strider. Alongside the weapons, you also have the following: armor, crafting, leveling up, weapon mods, a full-fledged economy where metal is the main form of currency, and this is just for combat. There is still a whole other side to the gameplay, and that is the exploration. Aloy is very agile, and she is able to climb surfaces to reach different vantage points in a similar manner to Nathan Drake from the Uncharted series. Speaking of climbing, there are these passive machines that act as super vantage points. When they are scaled and hacked, Aloy gets a much better view of her environment, which leads to her originally fogged out map, revealing a lot of necessary information that can aid in her exploration. She can also scan the environment with her focus using the R3 button. While not exactly like Batman's detective mode or Joe's listening mode, it provides useful information when focusing on enemies. It can also interact with her surroundings and any devices she finds along the way from the old world. Another aspect of the exploration are the characters you meet along the way. Most of these characters can at least be greeted, and some will even provide the necessary information about your surroundings, and it may even provide you missions when spoken to. During these conversations, Horizon uses a dialogue wheel similar to the ones that can be found in games like Mass Effect. And there are some choices that can be made during conversations, but don't worry, it doesn't affect the game as a whole, just that specific conversation. While on the topic, this is a great time to shift to the music and sound. Always the most underrated aspect of most games, and this game is no different. The voice acting is stellar across the board, as is the case for most Sony-made video games. But special recognition has to be given to Ashley Birch, who expertly brings Aloy to life, ensuring she stands as one of the great PlayStation mascots. The other aspect of the sound is the sound design. The sound of the weapons are made to feel as real as possible. The machine sounds add to the spectacle and eeriness of them, and the sound of being in a cauldron is unlike any other. The music in this game is very subtle. It's almost blink and you'll miss it. But when you catch the songs as they are playing, you can easily get mesmerized. And I feel this is why Horizon Zero Dawn's cutscenes can be very powerful. So to the music team, I say well done. And finally, let's quickly talk about the reception of this game. Horizon Zero Dawn released to excellent reviews from all who played it. They echoed the same praises from earlier in this video, but also saw that there was still room for improvement, likely due to the massive shift in focus from the developers. The only real problem was that it released a month before Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and Zelda just sucked the life out of everything. It also made Horizon feel a bit dated, but it seems Guerrilla themselves felt this way, as some Zelda-like features such as improved climbing and the hang glider will be added to Horizon Forbidden West. I personally love this game. I do have a bit of genre fatigue for Assassin's Creed type games, but the dynamic machine fights and the rich lore kept me very engaged. I also loved Aloy as a character. She's very strong-willed, easy to root for and fun to play as. Plus some other great characters can be found in this game as you explore the world. Horizon Zero Dawn takes anywhere from 20 to 30 hours to finish, adds an extra 10 to 15 hours for the side quest, and maybe an extra 5 for the fairly straightforward Platinum Trophy. You can play it on the PS4, the PS5 or the PC, and is a must play, especially with Forbidden West just around the corner. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this quick retrospective, please leave a like and subscribe. You can also check my Last of Us retrospective right here, and I'll catch you all later. Stay blessed.